count me in.
Alright, 1 second. All clear, alright. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright guys, welcome to Donkey Kong Country, co-commentated by my cat who won't stop meowing. This will be, let's see, I think the best way to sum this run up is I'll be jumping higher than Mario, rolling faster than Sonic, and flying better than Spyro. And overall, this game is mostly just about rolling. It can be summed up as simply as, excuse me, I knew I forgot something. Summed up as simply as holding right, holding Y, and hitting the frame. And so, essentially the way movement is in this game, you will be holding Y as long as you can, aka rolling. And so the running this game primarily is rolling for as long as you can. So optimizing this game is essentially, rolling whenever you can for as long as you can. And there are a couple tricks we use to make that work. The main trick is called extended rolling. And extended rolling is a trick we use by letting go of Y before you start rolling. What is it, cat? I don't know why he's meowing. Anyway, so extended rolling is a technique performed by letting go of Y right before you roll into an enemy. So this game has an interesting mechanic where if you do that, you let go of Y before an enemy and you tap it again afterwards after you roll through something, you're able to refresh your roll basically. You can think of it like a cooldown of a spell in League or something. It's the easiest way to think about it. You have a set amount of time in your roll before you stop rolling, and if you do an extendo, that time is refreshed. So there will be lots of extended rolling throughout the game, and you can do multiple extendos in one roll, and it leads to some crazy situations where you're able to roll through like half the stage and over pits and gaps, and just in ways that you would never be able to normally. And so extended rolling is the bread and butter of this game, and it makes it a lot different than the other Donkey Kong Country games, because neither of the other games have anything like this. Mostly, like, see, Donkey Kong Country 2, for example, has a lot of unique one-off tricks, like Flying Clip and double jumping with Bradley and things like that. But DKC1 is just all about your extendos and rolling as much as you can. And every extendo has different timing, so it's a very rhythm-based game. Every little trick has its own little rhythm that you need to learn. But it makes for a fun one overall. Alright, so we did well in World 1. Donkey Kong Country also features the best boss design of all time. Check this guy out. And that's all you need. So we'll be moving on to World 2, which in the other two Donkey Kong Country games you have warps in all of the first two, on every level in the first two worlds, but it'll be a little bit scattered here. Missed a roll there, use an extendo to get across this gap, and extended rolling is actually slower when you aren't able to get any distance off of it, so otherwise I'll be just normal rolling. This is all completely normal. Just that beginning one was an extended roll and the rest is just holding Y. Alright, I'm gonna baby that jump over there, and I still almost missed. There will be one day, and I've done this game in a lot of marathons, but there will be one day when I fall into that barrel and have to do the auto-scroller. It's gonna happen one day. I'm gonna enjoy it, actually. because it's been a long time coming and it makes me very paranoid. So 2-3 is where the run really starts to get intense platforming-wise. There's a lot of little tricks here. In these crawl spaces, I can hold down and right and jump past them instead of crawling, and that lets me roll past these bees without waiting. Okay. Man, I'm going for some gutsy stuff in this marathon. I've been doing record attempts on this game for the past several months, so I'm not doing like any marathon strats at all. And my cat is on top of my roommate's computer and just pressed a bunch of buttons on the top of his case, and I can't really get him out right now. Oh, there he goes. Yes, hello. Hello. So these rock rocks have no hitbox when you roll through them. No, you can't lay in my lap right now, cat. Not right now. Get off of my keyboard. Oh no, this might be a disaster, guys. I'm trying to commentate my run, but I can't wrangle this. Get out of here. Go. So I did a little trick there called the super jump to reach that bonus. But I'll be explaining the super jump later on in more detail. Here's another one of Donkey Kong Country's amazing bosses. Okay, so I don't have the marathon chat open. Let me fix that. Alright, so there are a couple, I'm saying Donkey now. Donkey is usually slower. That's something I forgot to mention earlier on. We won't be using much of Donkey at all. Donkey is significantly slower and bigger and really just overall pretty useless. But there are a couple of warps in the game that only have Donkey, that only pay for Donkey, sorry. And we will need those. We'll need Donkey for those. So I had to sacrifice Donkey. I had to sacrifice Diddy instead of Donkey for the super jump there in 2-5, and I just kept him the whole time because I needed him again. What the hell? I don't know why I jumped there. I'll need him again for the I needed him for the 1 and 3 one. So the super jump. So you can see I will be sacrificing. Let me explain it. No, cat. No, can't get in my lap right now. No, I'm sorry. Alright, let me just make sure I let go Y or B in the correct position. Okay, so this is where I talked about jumping higher than Mario. This is a glitch that gives me an infinite jump as high as I want. I can hold down B and keep jumping until I wrap across the screen and die on the bottom of the stage. I've never actually held down B that long, but I know you can do it on the ropes, so I imagine you can do it with the super jump. So the way the super jump works is you sacrifice a Kong near a wall, and instead of running away, they jump up to the sky right away. They scale the wall and then jump up to the sky. So when you sacrifice it, when you get that Kong back, sacrifice your other Kong, and then immediately land on an enemy after the automatic jump that you have when you hit. You get to control that infinite jump to the sky, and you can hold B and as long as you want. And so, then you can control the height of the jump, and that's what we do. And we use it to jump over the entire auto-scroller. It's a much more entertaining way of beating that level in the past, where we would just sit above the rope, start mashing a lot, and, you know, like occasionally skip one rope. No, kitty. Why are you being so ornery today? No! Stop. The cat's gonna kill the room. Without a doubt. Okay, so this is a clinch point in the marathon of sorts. There's a trick I can use to save time. warping to the end of the next stage. So while this is all stages, oh dear, I could lose a million here. Lost. Okay, I didn't lose a billion. Still lost a million. I would like to get that trick first try. I got 4th. That isn't too bad considering how bad that could go in a marathon. But because this is all stages, for a while, the warp trick wasn't allowed for all stages because one of the old SDA runners decided it would be better to play through all the stages. But a couple of years ago, everybody talked about it in IRC, the DKC IRC, and eventually decided that it should be re-allowed because you're still beating all the stages. And basically it was defining the category as play through all the stages from the beginning or just beat them all. And I figure like beating all stages was a little more concise, I suppose. The cat's not angry. It'll like scream like that. Maybe scream's not the right word, but I like saying scream. It'll yell like that anytime you pick it up or anytime you do anything against its wishes. And it'll immediately go back to purring within like 2 seconds. Anyway, so to hit this guy in the beginning there on the as he was flying above the screen, I hopped up with Diddy, and like at the very tip of my jump, I let go of the barrel, and that raised it up by just a few pixels, enough to hit him with Diddy's full height jump, and I almost tried to split. And we'll be moving on to World 4. World 4 is pretty much where this game starts, but not immediately at World 4. Like, there's hard platforming through everything in the first couple of worlds, but attempts don't really start until after Crabtopus Chase, which, as the name implies, is a really awful stage. So we'll be using extended roll. So lots of cool tricks here. The barrel boost is just done by holding a barrel and jumping up a slope. That really big jump I got with the barrel there. And a couple cool extendos under some platforms. It's an interesting run. It's a cool little stage. So rolling is slower on the ice. And so I'll be jumping and running through the next couple of levels. No kidding. There's a hard little trick to skip this first rib, saves like 10 frames or something. I'll be... that was actually a really good climb. I could have made that in 5. Alright. And the next one, we'll finally get to use our friend Espresso, who is the best animal buddy in the series, in my opinion. And the reason for that is because he was just made to go fast. He doesn't have any silly little gimmicks, really. You know, he can glide. Well, I suppose you can't classify those as gimmicks. His unique abilities are that he can glide, and that he can run over small enemies. Although, you see the way that birds are working, the reason I'm able to run over the birds is not because of Espresso, but simply because their hitbox doesn't load fast enough. So if you'll see me jumping through a couple of them later on in the run, even with that, like, even without Espresso, I mean. So this is Crabtopus Chase. There's not a lot to say here. Normally I would say read some donations if we have any, but in a marathon, but I don't think anybody else is in the Mumble channel. I'm not sure. But but not too much here. I will be focusing on good corner movement, basically. You can save some frames by mashing faster. It's not too significant. Obviously, be mashing as fast as I can. But it, as far as I know, it doesn't make a huge impact in the room. As you can see, the swinging speed isn't particularly faster than usual, but we'll just be cutting corners. Like right here, I don't have to cut corners as long as I'm going full speed upwards. And the rest of it's just chilling, right?
How you doing, NewAgeRetroHippie?
What's up?
How are you doing?
Everything going well?
Yeah, just organizing the Dishonored Mega Race that's happening later today at around 6 p.m.
Okay, sounds good.
Our current restreamer looks very shy.
How so?
I mean, he's been in here with you the whole time.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, I knew somebody was in here, but I figured they were admin or something. That's okay. It's better than the epic meme movies that I've been restreaming so far. I thought Suck It Hippie was a good touch though. Like if you're gonna commit to naming it out and not use the layouts correctly, then you might as well go all right.
Well, we did get you the 4x3 layout that you made for your actual run.
I saw. It's not that serious. As long as people are still enjoying the marathon. Alright, so this is where the run starts. Craptopus is over. And this is where runs usually start to die a lot. If I even get them this far. So I can do a zip through the crawl spaces there. By getting past the halfway point and attempting to roll while holding down. And the oil barrels don't have a hitbox on the edges, only in the center. And in Oil Drum Alley, if anybody remembers the barrels where the fire goes up and down, there's no hitbox on those until the fire is completely out. And this is Road Bridge Rumble, the tire roll stage. You might have seen a couple. Are there any tire rolls? Yeah, there are, but I don't think it's not really as extravagant as the stage. But when you land on a tire, you can roll off the edge of it if you get to the edge before it bounces you off. Doing a particularly hard set of tire rolls there. Alright. Ace that. It's definitely a scary trick. And the last one. Back boost off of this guy. Just barely made it. Alright. Where are you, kid? Whatever. And on this boss, it is the Beaver Gang, but he's got some springy shoes. And he'll jump an extra time every time that I hit them. However, if I use Donkey's scapegoat, because that's about what Donkey is useful for, I can skip one of the cycles and immediately hit him a 4th time. Or a 5th time, actually. Turn up brightness. I can't do that right now, dude. And you'll have to get a restreamer to do that. Alright, so as you'll see, I just jumped clear through that fire. It looked like I even jumped through the center of it. That's just the way it works. It's really silly. So this whole series is pretty notorious for bad hitboxes. If you haven't been aware, going to DKC 1 and 2, they're vastly different in the 3 games as well. Mostly between 1 and the others. But 1 is very, very forgiving with its hitboxes, and 2 is out for blood. Alright, so as you can see here, I'm landing just as the fires are checking. Extendo tire roll off the edge, there we go. Aced it beautifully. I can hear this cat, but I can't see him. Alright, so final warp barrel. The shortest stage in the game. Elevator Antics is a more unique level. It's one of the few, including 4-2, although we warped through that one so you can't see much of it. But in Elevator Antics here, it's mostly vertical play. Well, not mostly, I suppose, but a lot more vertical play than the rest of the run. Vertical movement. DKC is almost strictly horizontal, and that's actually what helps make it a really good speed game, because the rolling mechanics are so tied into, or such a big part of what makes it a speedy run, that if there were more vertical stages, it wouldn't really shine as a very good platformer. Again, comparing it to DKC2 just because, like, design-wise, they're so vastly different in ways you might have not noticed. Skipping an elevator here. Sorry, didn't really explain that trick, but there's not much to it, just move the way I did. Manipulate the camera a bit to spawn an elevator lane. In DKC2, a lot of the stages are vertical. And you can see a lot of play with the snake as well. And there is no extended rolling in that game. It's very, very different, so it's a very unique run for the series. Oh gosh, what are you doing? Alright, so Engard has particularly awful hitboxes, which can be abused quite readily. You already seen me clip through one clam in Clam City in World 3 if you were paying attention. I will be clipping through a lot. Oh, dear. Okay. That could have gone a lot worse. Not clipping through that can have some disastrous effects where Engard will be in sync with the mincers and you can't get back on him. My cat finally got bored of me and started prancing around the room. It's not even my cat, that's the worst part, it's just my roommate's cat. Alright, so you saw jumping as high as Mario, rolling faster than Sonic. This is where we will fly. Fly better than Spyro. And I got the jump roll. The jump roll is a frame perfect trick, where if you start a roll in the same frame you land on an enemy, which is usually only possible on edges, you start infinite rolling. I'm not touching the controller right now. Well, I'm holding it. And so the first trick is just unique to this stage where the game doesn't realize that you're off the ground because you didn't jump into the barrel, or into the minecart. I just ran straight off with Donkey and then got hit, and the game still thought I was on the ground, so it let me roll. However, a unique thing is that it lets me do the one jump roll in the game that you don't need to do near an edge. Because you can roll at any point, and normally you can't roll when you're falling, when you're in the middle of a jump. And so that's Minecart Madness, and that is Diddy, the best flying monkey in any video game. And this is the most frustrating stage in the game. I don't really need to explain why. Got the hardest extendo in the game. But I need to stay quiet to focus throughout the rest of the stage. Alright. Bounced, that was almost a perfect blackout, but I bounced on the claptrap at the end. That's a little unfortunate, but that's okay. Alright, so this is Donkey's one chance to shine, where he was actually more useful during the boss and not just used because he's convenient. And I get to show off a sick Donkey-only trick, where if you press down and right and tap Y on the same frame, you can do you can slap the ground and do a roll at the same time. And it looks like this. It's called slap slide. Boop. And the reason we use Donkey here is for the last two sets of enemies, Diddy can't jump on them, so it's significantly faster to switch to Donkey. And so I believe I've had a very good run here. I'm not sure what the time is. But see, in World 6 there are 2 jump rolls that are mandatory for getting the record. I got 4th try warp, so unfortunately I am almost 100% sticker pace, but I have done very well, and I haven't lost time anywhere else, so it's not completely out of the question. However, and this is a very optimized game, mind you, but the jump rolls make it very difficult, so the record is not pushed to the impossible degree. I'm pretty sure record is impossible, but I still need this jump roll here, so this will be the first one. I'm gonna go for it even though it's in a marathon, just because it's too good of an opportunity to waste. And I missed that one. Here's my second and last try to skip this entire auto-scroller. And I failed it, unfortunately. Oh well, so that's DKC. If this was a record attempt and I had done everything perfect until now, the run would be over. Luckily I did get to show off the jump roll. But now you get to see, this is the ride of shame. The platform ride of shame. If I had gotten the first jump roll though, I would have had to wiggle between these 2 Bs you'll see here in a second. And you remember how fast I was going during the jump roll? I would have had to do that between 2 Bs that are very close together without getting hit. And so, even if you get the frame perfect jump roll, this is a 60 FPS game, mind you. Even if you get the frame perfect jump roll, you have to go between those 2 Bs without getting hit. You have to wiggle back and forth really fast. I'm sorry, Poop Fist. I did my best, but my best was not good enough. And again, amazing hitboxes. Check it. Alright.
We have a $10 donation from Supreme. Good luck to Hippie on finishing the run. Great marathon so far. Like to put this towards the DK3 guide raffle.
I lost Randy instantly. Well, I was going... That's unfortunate. So... Oh dear. Hold up. Alright, I want to make sure I'm on pace here. So unfortunately, that marks the end of this being a good run. Missing both the jump roll and losing Randy is pretty bad. But overall, not too terrible. You're gonna see me run around like an idiot here for a second. But the goal with Randy usually is to sacrifice them on the second mincer to not have to wait for the platforms. And overall, he's just pretty fast because you can run around with him. He's a little bit faster than rolling a single roll. Oh my gosh. The fastest way for me to get Diddy back is to do this, actually. A little unfortunate, that's a really hard extender. Almost lost him again, good grief. Alright, so you barely survived manning mincers. That's what it's good to know what it can look like when the game goes a little awry. And this is, but we'll be moving on to Misty Mine. I'll go for the Misty Mine jump wall here just for funsies. This one doesn't save a lot of time, and it can also kill me, but whatever, I want to show it off. Well, no, missed it anyway. Shame. Shoutouts to Will for making a better setup for that jump roll that I don't use, because the worst. Alright, but this is a really cool level. There's a lot of bobbing and weaving. Or at least there used to be a bobbing and weaving, but now we've pretty much perfected the jumps. Back in the day, there was a lot of ducking and waiting. Now there's simply a lot of jumping beforehand on the right spots. So you notice any keen-eyed viewer will notice that I rolled through the first claptrap on this stage. I'm gonna baby this actually. Okay, because I hate that jump. They'll notice that I rolled through the first claptrap. So there's a claptrap that's sitting there, and every claptrap in that stage jumps when you jump. And that's why I had to move so interestingly. Wait. Hold on. I'm mixing up my stages. Excuse me. Getting a little too into the commentary that I'm just autopiloting the stage and I don't even remember what stage I'm on. That's how much I've played this game. Okay, so excuse me, that claptrap is the one I rolled through. And every claptrap on this stage... Oops. Every claptrap on this stage jumps when you jump. What makes... Oh my gosh. I'm all over the place. I just woke up a little bigger. But anyway, so this is another stage pitched in darkness, but you can see just enough to be able to make out the platforms in the dark, so it's not nearly as bad as Blackout Basement, where what you could see is what I could see. And the Blackout Basement has a double extended roll where you have to tap Y accurately within 3 frames twice. You have a double 3 or 4 frame window to press Y in the dark between enemies that you cannot see. So I was very proud of myself for getting that. And this is the last level, one of the most intense. There's another jump roll here that Will made a setup for, that Will Beast, that I did learn because it's significantly better, so shoutouts to that guy. And I missed it, unfortunately. I will go for one more jump roll setup just because it is faster. This one is using Donkey. Let's see if I can get this one. This one's pretty cool. Oh god, I didn't bounce on him. Really? That's very unlikely and pretty unfortunate. I'm not, alright, well, I won't go for that one a second time. I don't even have Donkey, so there you go. I couldn't if I wanted to. Alright, well, a little sloppy here. Give it the round 2. Still didn't get the jump roll, gosh. Oh well, it's one of the main goals of running DKC in the marathon is getting at least one jump roll to be able to show it off. And oftentimes, I won't keep going unless I get at least one jump roll. Like I'll do 5 more fails until I'll get the jump roll. Until I get the jump roll. Alright, so that was a double extendo, really cool one. So this is still a cool stage. I grabbed Donkey just because I have a bad habit of, not a really bad habit so much as an unfortunate situation. Unfortunate, whatever. Oh no, dude. So the problem with platform fails, there are a lot of easy ways to die, and typically I either get it first try or I die a lot on the stage. So, alright, I'll granny it more here. My last race with Gary also ended this way, where it was really good until platform fails, and then deaths happened. There we go. So this is what the jump roll looks like, and because I'm not good enough to beat the stage apparently, I can just jump roll the whole thing instead. But, so, aside from the unfortunate ending, the game is really fast, really intense, and this is what the marathon's going to look like. At SGDQ, what we're raising money for, there will be a 3-way race between me, Garrison, and Eason, the current top 3. We are the current top 3 runners for this game. It's going to be really fast, really intense. There's going to be a big chance for an upset with the jump rolls and just the way the game is in general. It's going to be a lot of blast. It's going to be a huge blast, so... Make sure you're around for that, make sure you donate for all the Hayai Kawai runners, including myself, to make it to the marathon. I am a wonderful recipient. So if you're excited for Donkey at the marathon, do you know that that's one of the runs that you're going towards? You're donating towards? Alright, so K-Rool, final boss in the game. And after this I'll be showing off a couple other goofy glitches in the game. If I can find my game saver. I don't know where it is. K-Rool is really straightforward. It's like an auto-scroller boss, basically. just try to hit him as fast as you can. I'm a lot better at getting the fast hits with Donkey than I am with Diddy. Yellow Killer B is excited for DKC. Good to hear, man. Alright, so let me find that freaking game saver so I can... Oh my gosh, where did it go? You know, like, I would love to pay attention to my game right now because this boss is really hard, but I need to find this game saver if I want to show off a lot of these glitches. Like, where could it be? Oh my gosh. Oh well. Hey, what's up, hero? Hopefully nothing too exciting has happened while I was walking around. Where could it be? I'm not even joking right now. I don't know where it is. Oh. Alright, oh fuck. Well, it would be pretty embarrassing if I died right here. I was gonna make a joke about Diddy not even having to jump for the last hit, but I got hit, so can't do that. Oh, time is now. Hopefully, sorry, I forgot to give a warning for that. When the banana hits the ground was the correct time. I probably got like a 36. I want to say. What was that?
36.